Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I tell you, I am about to burn up. When I left my house this morning to go to work, I left my heat kind of turned up because I was cold walking around the house, and I forgot to turn it down. And right now I'm burning up. It's hot. Anyway, today is Thursday, January 28th. It's about 6 p.m. And this video is going to be about automatic writing. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know that I post something like a card of the day every day. It's usually a tarot card. Sometimes it's a Lenormand. Sometimes it's a playing card. Sometimes it is geomancy. Sometimes I strike out and do some bibliomancy, so I might use the Bible to do a Bible passage or the dictionary to do like a word of the day. And this week I'm doing some automatic writing. And I've gotten some questions about that. And so the purpose of this video is to explain it to you and to answer some of those questions that people have asked me. But as usual, before I tell you that story, I got to tell you this story. So, as I've told y'all before, and y'all probably sick of hearing it by now, I grew up in a very small town in South Carolina, and I was always interested in magic and witchcraft and things of that nature from a very young age, but I did not have the resources to study it or to get information. And then what little resources there was for me was there was not a lot going on there. It was like very brief snippets, or maybe there was something on a TV show like Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, or one of those TV movies in the 70s, like Summer of Fear, that featured witches, and it might, hint about something, some grain of truth that they fictionalize for the purpose of entertainment or what have you. And so I was primarily interested in reading the tarot because I was just drawn to it, and I have a good talent for reading the tarot. But at that time, I couldn't just run out. Excuse me, I couldn't just run out and buy a deck of tarot cards. It just wasn't possible for me. So as I told y'all in another video, I stole a deck of playing cards out of my grandfather's cabinet, and I started reading playing cards before I got my first tarot deck at the age of, I think I was 17, the summer I was 17, and started reading them. And I'm 47 now, so that means I've been reading tarot for 30 years. Wow, I just realized that. But that was sort of a theme for me, is trying to make do with what I had. And so other things I was able to do is scrying. I told y'all that I use marbles, and I told the story of seeing the woman's face in the marble, and then going to the Piggly Wiggly later and seeing that exact same face and having that really uncomfortable moment of seeing the expression on her face, the same expression I saw in the marble. Pendulums was an easy tool to get. You can do that with a needle and thread or a piece of string on a ring and what have you. And so another thing finally was automatic writing, because it was easy. All you needed was pen and paper. And so I started experimenting with automatic writing like when I was a teenager, and I kind of got out of it, and but when I got my first tarot deck, because when you're getting into this, you don't want a marble, you want a real crystal ball. You don't want playing cards, you want real tarot cards. And so sometimes we kind of graduate to these things and we forget about the simple things that we have available to us. And one of those things is automatic writing. So probably about a year ago, I read a book. It was called Daughter of Darkness, and I did do a review of that book in one of my videos. And in that book, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but there is a scene in this book where the young girl, teenager, she's using magic against the grown-ups around her, and she does something, she pulls up something that she can't control, that she doesn't know how to banish. And so a friend brings in a medium who is a automatic writer. And there's a great scene of it being described how this medium goes into the room. She sits down with her pad and pencil, and she just opens herself up to the spirit or the energies that are in that room, active in that place, and it uses her hand to write out messages. And so she talks to the spirit, and the spirit writes out the answers and sort of resolves the problem. So that's basically automatic writing. In my experience, and I'm just talking about my experience, there are two different kinds of automatic writing. The first is where you simply sit down with pen and paper and you relax and you put your pen or pencil on the paper. I like to use a mechanical pencil sometimes because, or have a second pencil ready just in case, because sometimes that can break. And you're able to just, they have the kind that automatically fades. A pen is better, especially those pens that just roll across the paper. So you basically sit there and relax, and you put the pencil in your hand, the hand you normally write with, put it on the paper, and just relax, and you just sort of open yourself up to receiving a message. You can surround yourself with the white light of protection and say a prayer that only positive come through. Those of you who saw my last video called the Alpha Ritual and the White Room, you can do that Alpha Ritual as a prelude to your automatic writing. Perform the ritual up to the point where you finish the relaxation part of the ritual and you open your eyes, and at that point, that's when you can work on any type of divination. You can do that with your tarot, your bones, your cards, or studying a chart. You can do it with your automatic writing. You sit there and you put your pencil in your hand on the paper, and what I like to do is I close my eyes. I like to not look at what's being written on the paper. I also put my AirPods in my ear and I listen to basically white noise. I like to go to YouTube, and there's all kinds of videos on there of just a gentle rain or a storm. And I'm one of those people that likes the rain. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel comfortable, and that probably goes back to when I was a teenager. My first bedroom was our back porch that had been built in one of those old Mill Hill houses, and the roof was tin, so whenever it would rain, I would get those drops on the tin roof, and it just sounded really nice and made me relax. So I listen to white noise, and so when you first start doing it, you're going to get little scribbles, and I wish I would have showed you a example. I don't have an example. And I could have swore I had. There's nothing in there. So this is some of my automatic writing I have in a file. And some of these are more later. I don't have the earlier ones where it was just, it's just little scribbles. And it may look like gibberish. It may be hard to read, but like when you're done, you want to really study it. It's almost like trying to read a doctor's handwriting or trying to read someone's really bad handwriting. You just try to interpret it. And if you keep it up, it will get better. So I am going to show you one thing here, just because it recently came true. This is one of my automatic writing sessions. It's just a regular piece of paper. At the very top, it says love life. That's what I wanted to focus on. And then I sat there. Now what you're about to see in cursive is the automatic writing, and what you see in what's the opposite of cursive? Print, I guess. Print is just me talking back, trying to figure it out. So my question was, who will be my next lover? And so this is what it looked like for you to see. So it says, I couldn't tell if that said Joe or Lee. And you can see right there I wrote Joe or Lee. And then I asked, what does he look like? What does he look like? And it says black hair, blue eyes. And then I said, where will we meet? And the word was work. Now this is dated 1/17, and today is the 28th. And what happened was I put this in my little folder and I kind of forgot about it. And was it yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. Maybe it was Tuesday. At my job, a man walked into our office, and he was there to, he was a mechanic, and he was there to look at some of our equipment. And I thought, oh, he's kind of cute. And he went back into our warehouse to look at the equipment. And then when he was done later, he came up to let us know that he was done and, fill out some papers and all that. And he was very pleasant, very nice. And then I was walking past, and I happened to look at his name tag, and it said Joe, right? So, I know you're dying to know what happened with Joe, but let's just say things are going okay. Things are going well with that. So that is one type of, there's something else I want to tell you. So, I'm trying to think, do I want to tell you this now or tell you the first thing, then tell you something else? Talk amongst yourself for a minute. Let's go with the second one. Okay, so the other type of automatic writing is where I call it, you basically kind of jumpstart the process. That's when you sit there and you relax and you put your pen on the paper and you just start scribbling yourself. You actively write. You might think of a theme that you want to write on, and you maybe set a timer for 30 seconds, right? Or you might write at the top, I am, right? And then just without thinking, you just write everything that comes to your mind, almost like a word association, right? And then at some point, the Spirit will take over and start writing things to you. And I'm trying to think if I have an example of that. And I'm hoping it shows you how the handwriting changed in the middle of it. Oh, okay, here's one. So I was focusing on money, right? And so this is the paper right here. And I have to look at it to read it to you. So I just started brainstorming. I wrote wealth, money, riches, comfort, luxury, big. I don't remember why I wrote big. People, around, not in, gadgets, convenience. And you see that the handwriting slowly starts to change. And I'll show this to you again in a minute, but I'm going to read all the words. I'm going to start back at the beginning. Wealth, money, riches, comfort, luxury, home, big. Oh, maybe big home. People, around, not in, gadgets, convenience, beauty, happiness, health, love, men, choices. Wealth is subjective. You can have all that without waiting for it to happen to you. And at this point right here, you can see how the handwriting just sort of starts to change. And I think it's probably around right after happiness, health, and then love, men. And then you can see the handwriting just sort of changes. And it told me, I started out thinking, what does wealth mean to me? Why do I want wealth? What will wealth get me? And I started listing all these things that I thought wealth would get me. And the Spirit basically said, everything that I'm looking for, I could have it without waiting for wealth to come to me. And I thought that was very cool. Okay, so someone asked me, where do the messages come from? I'm going to draw on my research regarding the pendulum because I think it's the same thing. Some people say that messages come from your subconscious, that some part of your subconscious is writing these messages out. Other people say that it is a spirit who is using your body, just like with the Ouija board that moves that planchette. It's just that automatic writing is much more fine because you're writing words and you're not just kind of basically pointing at them. So it's up to you to believe where it comes from. It could certainly be part of it comes from your subconscious. It could be, sorry, I just ate supper and I'm burping. It could be that it comes from spirit. You have to experience it for yourself to kind of figure out where you think it comes from. Me personally, I think it's both, really. It just, from session to session, some of it may be coming from your subconscious, which is connected to your superconsciousness. So your subconscious is connected to the superconsciousness and is using your consciousness to write this out. And some of it is just being channeled through spirit. So I was having an automatic writing session and some stuff was coming through, and I just asked, I said, who are you? Where is this information coming from? And the Spirit wrote, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, and I've typed it up to show you, Atatoule. That's the Spirit, Atatoule. And again, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I said, who are you? Who is Atatoule? And the Spirit, I should have that piece of paper. The Spirit wrote something like, the alchemist, he who makes the unmanifest manifest, who gives weight to wishes and makes dreams real. And I thought, oh, okay. And so in that session, I was focusing on a certain goal in my life that I was having some stumbling blocks with, that I was trying to get something to manifest. And so I said, so again, just like working with the pendulum, show me yes, show me no, show me I don't know. And then you're like, okay, ask it a question you know the answer to. Was I born on a Thursday? Was I born during the day? Was I born at night? To get it. So I asked Atatoule some clarifying questions, and then when I felt comfortable asking him or her questions to help me with this problem, he drew, I'm just going to say he, I don't know. He drew out a sigil. Now, he didn't write the instructions through my hand, but there was a sigil that was drawn. And in my mind, I could see how I'm supposed to use that sigil. And so what I did was I drew that sigil on a piece of paper, and I put it on my altar between two red candles, right? So here's the red candles, here's the paper. I lit the candles, and I chanted Atatoule's name until I felt a connection. And then I placed my hand on the sigil, and I stated clearly and definitely what I want. And 3 days later, what I asked for manifest, right? My wish was manifested out of the unmanifest, just as Atatoule the alchemist stated. What else was I going to say? I've totally hit a blank. I know there was more I wanted to tell you guys. I'm thinking. I really should have sat down and wrote out an outline for everything I wanted to cover with you guys. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, so I've been working with Atatoule. Oh, I know what I was going to say now. Atatoule. So I'm the type of person that I really like to verify things or get any type of physical evidence that I can. And so I Googled this name, and as near as I can figure out, Atatoule is a surname. It is also an Armenian word meaning tangibility. You know, anything that is tangible, anything that you can touch, which that goes along with making something real, giving weight to wishes and making the unmanifest manifest. So I don't know if Atatoule is a genuine spirit who came through to me, or it's some part of my subconscious. Maybe I heard this word on TV somewhere. Maybe, you know, I like to sleep with the radio on. Maybe it was said on the radio and my dreaming subconscious mind picked it up. I don't know. All I know is the information came through. It was verified. I was given a course of action to undertake, and that course of action was successful. Anyway, that is my video on automatic writing. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you can find some type of value in it. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Tomorrow's Friday. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I got a new video planned for Saturday, and I will see you guys then. Until then, good night.